Sunset Splendor sounds a little bit scary to me, not my usual kind of colours. Hello, welcome to The Stylish Maker. My name's Carol. Last week in a live stream with my Jewel Box group, I opened the Soft Flex Sunset Splendor kit. That's really hard to say. And I was actually pleasantly surprised at what was inside. I was really worried that it would be all colours that I couldn't work with. I'm first going to show you a little bit of the live stream where I show the beads. Let's start off with the Soft Flex, which is called Garnet, the colour. And it's kind of a rusty red colour, more red than rust, I think. We have these beautiful square beads. We've got some little faceted rondelles. They're tiny, they're probably, maybe 4mm by 3. I also have I've got some of these in my store. These ones are faceted rounds, 6mm. The colours are coming out a little bit darker on my screen than they are in real life. You've got 2 tiny wee rhinestones with a flat back. We have 2 of these eye charms, kind of interesting. I've got 4 ear hooks. This month they are gold. Actually, I might put these over here. That will work better and they won't be in the way. So there's my gold ear hooks, and I've got 1 gold lobster clasp. I've got some gold crimp tubes. And what's in this bag? These are interesting. They are, that's the right side, I think. They're kind of a copper coloured, I don't even know, they're a connector. So they've got a hole at the top here, and then they've got a loop there and a loop there. So if you were wanting to make an earring, you could attach the ear hook at the top and, oh no, they've got 3 loops at the bottom. So you could actually have some dangles off the bottom. These are very interesting shaped beads. Gosh, we've got a lot of them. And that's often my complaint with the Soft Flex packs, is that you don't get enough of one bead. Now these ones are challenging, and the reason I say that is I always find beads that hang differently on the wire rather than have the hole drilled through the center. I always find them challenging. So these ones are a very interesting shape. They look like a teardrop that's been pinched sideways. The hole is at the top here. They're a really interesting colour too, kind of a, oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of a greyish salmon colour. That didn't sound very nice, did it? But I swear, they are quite pretty. We have these ones which are a faceted long oval, and they're a really interesting colour too, because they are kind of a salmony colour as well, but they've got more gold in the centre. So those are interesting. They probably measure, let me see, probably about 6 by 8. And we've got some more of the drops we got from last month, but they're larger. So if you remember from last month's pack, we had these same drops, but they were quite small. So this month they kind of work better with the pack than they did last month. And we have these garnet beads. Garnet is one of my favourite beads. I can't pick them up. They're feeling really sticky on my mat. I can't even describe this shape. They are like an oval, but they've got some sharp sides. So they're kind of a triangle shape, but not really. I know that's not very helpful. This is the Jessie James, what are they called? Jessie James Sunset Splendor. This looks like it has some very interesting pieces in it. Well, look at these. They're really cool. These are actually hollow. They're very cool. A really cool colour too. And these also are very cool. So these ones have a really matte finish on them. I'm not sure you can see that, but they are very cool. They feel interesting too. They almost feel like rubber. They're not bendy though, so really interesting. The hole goes through from this side to that side, and they're flat, but they've got a slight bevel on them. I'm feeling more positive now that I can do something with this kit. Those are gorgeous as well. They're the same size as those, but these ones have more faceting than those ones, but they're a beautiful colour. All right, we've got 4 of these, which are a beautiful salmony pink colour, and they've got really, really high faceting, so they've got like small facets. These are quite cool too. They go really, really well with the eye. Oh, I'm not so sure. These are brass and these are copper, but they are quite cool. So those are a kind of a coin, a faceted coin, and they are about, I'd say they're about 5mm across by probably 3mm high. What else have we got here? We've got some rose gold rhinestone rondelles. Those are always pretty. And we've got some more of these beads that we had from last time. We had some silver ones. Was that last time? I think it was the time before actually. And they've got rhinestones all around the outside. Got some pink drops. And we were just having a chat on the network this morning about beads that have the hole going through the top and how they're hard to use because they you have to wire wrap them, and especially if they're flat like this, because these aren't round, they're kind of flat, and if they're flat like this they are hard to wire wrap. But Christine shared a video where a woman had put 2 head pins through, so I haven't watched the video yet, but I will, because we might use that same technique for these, but we'll see. I've got 2 of these matte orange beads. They're quite high sheen, but they are matte, and we have some orange here. Now I have some leftover orange beads from, I think, from Exotic Bloom, so maybe I can pair some of those with these. Those are quite nice. They're a square with a faceted bevel on them. And these ones are a 4, oh, they're not a 6, they're too small for a 6. I'd say they're a 4mm faceted round, and they are a beautiful golden orange colour. These are just donuts. They are actually, are they single-sided? No, they're just a round disc with a hole in the centre, and they are gold. And the last thing we have are these 2 faceted, really large faceted rondelles.
Okay, as you can see, the beads weren't all oranges and reds, so I was okay with that. Now, I've actually cheated a bit today. I've already laid out one necklace using the beads. I actually really liked these beads here, these flat matte red coloured ones. I thought they were really gorgeous, and I felt like they needed to be the focal for my necklace. I also really wanted to use these. Knowing that there were only 2 of them, I thought I could make earrings. Then I decided I should put them in the necklace. I wanted to just use a lot of the different coloured beads and work them all in together. So I have red, I have orange, I have this beautiful salmony, it's kind of a burnt salmon colour. I've got some copper in here, I've got some pink, then I've got some orange and some beautiful kind of ruby colours. I've got more orange. I loved these faceted oval, and of course we've got the same shape in the red. Then up here I decided to step down the size of the beads, and I went with these beautiful little faceted round beads and the pink ones, so the pink and yellow. But I wasn't finished then. I needed to bring some red up to the back of the necklace, so I used this red one here. And I really like how it's turning out. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'm going to string it up. The Soft Flex pack came with some garnet colour Soft Flex, and I'm actually going to use this today. I think it's absolutely beautiful colour, and it works really well with the design of the necklace. As well as that, I've got a 12mm lobster clasp that came in the kit. I've got 2 crimp tubes that also came in the kit. I've got a 6mm jump ring and a 4mm jump ring, and those didn't come in the kit. Everything else here did. So let's start by cutting some wire. And remember to keep this when you get your Soft Flex, because it will stop everything falling off your roll. I probably need 55 or 60 centimetres. Pop it back on and everything is all nice and tidy. The first thing I'm going to do is put my bead stopper on so that my beads don't fall off. If you haven't seen one of these before, they're like a giant spring and a very useful addition to your toolkit. So you just squeeze it open, put your wire in, and everything holds nice and firm. I'm going to actually turn my bead board on the side. I find this is easier for stringing, and I'm just going to start stringing. I really love that this necklace has such a lot of different shaped beads, and it's got a lot of texture. there we go. I've strung up all my beads. I absolutely love this piece. I love the texture. There's so many different textures. I've got the sparkly faceted beads at the back here. And then I come down to this beautiful matte orange bead and the copper and the pink faceting, and these matte red beads really set things off, and these knobbly kind of pearl beads, they give it so much texture. I absolutely love it. If you're enjoying this one, I'd like to invite you to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss anything, and also give me that thumbs up. What I'm going to do next is take my pliers and attach a jump ring to my clasp. Now I'm using a 4mm jump ring here simply because I prefer to attach my clasp with a 4mm. If you wanted to attach your clasp with a 6, you could go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to open my jump ring. If you haven't done this before, I'll leave you a link to a video how to do this. Just closing up my jump ring, and there is my clasp with its jump ring attached. Next, I'm going to take a crimp tube. This is a 2mm crimp tube that came in the pack. It's not a magical crimp tube, but I am going to be using my magical crimping plier. Then I'm going to put on the jump ring that I just attached to the clasp, and I'm going to feed the wire back down through the crimp tube. I'm choosing not to use a wire guardian here. I know that my jump ring is well closed, so it shouldn't fall out. It's a medium weight, which means it's 0.48mm, so it shouldn't fall out of my jump ring. And I really, really like the little bit of the garnet that we see there. If you would like to see the live Soft Flex unboxing every month, then consider joining my Jewel Box group. I'll leave you a link in the description box to a 7-day free trial. There's lots of other things going on over there as well, so you can test it out and see if it's for you. Next, I'm going to take my magical crimping pliers and I'm going to squeeze my crimp tube, and I'm going to turn and squeeze again. And I'm going to continue doing that until my crimp is nice and round, and also I have everything nice and secure. Let's just double check it. Yes, it feels good. That's what that looks like. If you haven't seen the magical crimping pliers before, I'll leave you a link to a video all about that as well. It basically turns your crimp tube into a little bead. Next, I'm going to trim off a bit of my tail, but before I do that, I'm actually going to thread it through a couple of my beads. I like to do this to hide my tail. I know others don't, but I feel that this works. And I'm going to fold back my long end of my Soft Flex, and I'm going to trim that really, really close. Now it's disappeared inside that bead. Now I'm going to run my beads up to the other end, making sure I don't have any gaps. Take off my bead stopper. Now before I do anything else, I want to make sure that this jump ring is really well closed and it's a little bit out of alignment. Not sure if you can see that. So I'm going to grab my 2 pairs of chain nose pliers and give it a little wiggle backwards and forwards to get it in line. Now it's nicely closed. I'm going to put on my other crimp tube. Sometimes it's easier to fish for it with the end of your wire. I'm going to put on my jump ring here, and I'm going to go back through the crimp tube and down through a couple of those beads. Now I'm going to hold on to my crimp tube. I'm going to pull everything up. Now it's got to the point where I can't pull it anymore, so I'm going to pull my crimp tube down, hold it again, and pull. Now when you string a necklace, you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of room, because you don't want your necklace to be tight, but you don't want it to be loose either and have gaps. That feels about right, not too stiff. Now I have everything where I want it. I'm going to squeeze my crimp tube. Just like before, squeeze it, turn it, and squeeze it. And if you've been having trouble with your magical crimper, because I hear that a lot, that people have trouble with them, I'm going to link you a video all about how to troubleshoot your magical crimper. Don't give up on it, it is a really good tool. All right, now that is nice and firm, I'm going to bend the necklace back on itself where that tail is coming out, and I'm going to get in there with my cutters and cut off that end. And that is what that looks like. If you're interested in making the necklace and the earrings that I'm wearing today, I'll leave you links to the tutorials for both in the description box below. Here's my necklace on. Isn't it gorgeous? I absolutely love it. Even though it's got a lot of warm colours in it, it goes really well with my pink jacket and my pink sweater that I'm wearing today. It is also really good for my medium-high value contrast. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll leave you a link for a video all about that as well. Now I haven't finished with these beads. Make sure you tune in next week for another tutorial using some more of the Sunset Splendor Soft Flex pack. And I'm also going to be doing some member-only content for the Jewel Box group. So make sure you check out that 7-day free trial. Also check us out on Facebook and Instagram as well. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you again soon.